Australians have woken up to another way of life under unprecedented new rules. Prime Minister Scott Morrison has warned no one is allowed outside with more than one other person. Those over 70 should self-isolate for the foreseeable future. And everyone should stay at home wherever possible. The infection rate has slowed, but health authorities say the drastic measures are needed to make sure it keeps dropping. As states and territories respond, even tougher restrictions could soon be in place. For more, let's go to Chief Reporter Chris Reason in Sydney. Good morning, Chris. When will enforcement of these new restrictions begin?
Well, good morning to you. And, well, New South Wales has enthusiastically embraced these new rule recommendations from Canberra, and they will become official and enforceable from midnight tonight. However, the Premier, Gladys Berejiklian, is saying that she wants people to follow them straight away from today onwards. Get used to them. It's the way we're going to be living, she says, for at least another month. They are, as you say, a radical step up in the tightening of the social distancing rules and regulations. Only leave your home for essential reasons: shopping essentials, medical care, compassionate needs, exercise, work and education. It also means that you can only have a maximum of one person come and visit you at your home. The rules apply indoors and outdoors. And the police, this morning at the morning government briefing, we had the Police Commissioner Mick Fuller there as well, and he says that he's going to be making them enforceable and strongly enforcing them, hinting at no grace period this time. He's going to come down hard on any offenders. Let's have a listen to what he had to say.
I'm pretty done with cautions, to be honest. I mean, the power of discretion is such an important one for police. In fact, it's our strongest power. But I will ask police today to really be out there and enforcing this to protect the other 7.5 million residents of New South Wales.
Now, the Commissioner also noted that yesterday we had a total of 1,400 people come into Sydney International Airport, and all of them dispersed straight to their hotel 2-week isolation lockdown. He said it went very smoothly, assisted by Army personnel and Australian Federal Police as well. And he also noted, Anne, that 40 of those 1,400 had been especially singled out for showing signs and symptoms of coronavirus. They've been put in particular hospital hotels, not in the hospitals particularly. Quickly on the update figures: 118 people total now, an increase of 127 cases overnight. That figure is dropping, and that is good news. Anne.
Chris Reason reporting from Sydney. Thank you, Chris. Victoria has moved to stage 3 lockdowns following the PM's announcement. For more, I'm joined by Laurel Irving in our Melbourne newsroom. Laurel, good morning to you. What punishments do people face for breaching the rules?
Good morning, Anne. Well, stage 3 in Victoria essentially means Victoria is enabling these rules that the National Cabinet talked about last night. So they will come into effect at midnight tonight, like New South Wales. Here in Victoria, you'll face an on-the-spot fine of more than $1,600, and police will be able to have the powers to issue those under existing laws. And interestingly, the Premier made a point this morning of saying we're not just talking about outdoor here, we are talking about in your home. There are no more dinner parties, there are no more barbecues, encouraging neighbours, if they hear big gatherings next door, to ring police and dob them in. And interestingly, we haven't had any fines issued in Victoria yet. Well, Premier Andrews hinted that that was likely to change, that police are likely to take a tougher approach from midnight tonight. Here in Victoria, we now have 821 cases. Still rising. The increase is generally overall about 10% now, which is better than it was last week, but still doubling every week. And we saw some concerning behaviour over the weekend. It was a lovely, warm weekend of lots of people going down to the beach. That in particular is the behaviour that they want to stop to ensure that we flatten the curve.
This is critically important. We cannot have people out socialising, gathering as if this wasn't happening. We've got to protect the health system, we've got to save lives, we've got to protect jobs as well. This is very, very important that people do the right thing.
Here in Victoria as well, we are having busloads of international arrivals being taken to local hotels. Crown Metropole here in Melbourne received a number of busloads of arrivals this morning. They will, of course, again be in quarantine, forced quarantine for 2 weeks. Anne.
Laurel Irving in Melbourne. Thank you very much, Laurel.